Hey, welcome back to my channel. If I sound a little bit horrible, it's because I'm just getting over being sick, but I can talk again, so that's good. So I believe about a week ago, Becca launched their under eye setting powder. I saw people posting it from their influencer boxes. I had to have it. Under eye setting powder is something I am constantly looking for, constantly trying new things. 99.9% of the time, I just end up using the Elf under eye setting powder. It's only $3. I usually buy like 3 or 4 of them at a time, but they're just a little jar. I get mine at CVS. I've been using that for a while. I don't necessarily love it, but it works, so that's what I use. Anyway, so my Becca under eye setting powder came in the mail yesterday. I was gonna wait until I filmed this video to use it, but I literally could not. I could not stop myself from using it. I was so excited. I love Becca. I love their foundations. I love their primers. The backlight priming filter is my primer I use every single day. No matter what, it's my favorite primer of life. I love it. So I bought it. It is $25 if I remember correctly. I got it from Sephora. So you get 0.9 ounces in the jar. So I wanted to compare this with the Elf under eye setting powder I was just talking about. I also wanted to compare it with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder because I know that's what 100% of people on YouTube use to set their under eyes. I personally hate it as a powder in general. I really don't understand the hype around it. I've never seen anybody else say that they hate it. For some reason I hate it. But I'm going to try it out because I just want to show the difference. First I'm going to do one eye Becca, one eye Elf. I'm going to take that off and then I'll do one eye Laura Mercier, one eye Becca. I took my makeup off. I haven't washed my face, but I'll do that later. I'm just gonna moisturize my face real quick. So I'm gonna put foundation underneath, and the reason is because one problem that I have with a lot of powders, a lot of under eye setting powders, is that right here in the crease of my eye, sometimes they get really dark and they cake up, and I usually take my powder like all the way down here and all the way up here. Sometimes it seems like the powder sits different with the foundation, or I'm not sure, but I feel like having a foundation on is going to be important so that you can really see how it works. Okay, so I'm putting on some Becca Backlight Primer. A lot of people don't like this primer. They say that it makes their skin look purple or, you know, ashy or gray or whatever. I feel like it does if you use too much. I love this primer because it's kind of like skincare to me, I feel like. I don't know if it's just the lemony smell that makes me feel like it's skincare. Maybe it's not, I don't know. But I feel like if you go with it light, it just, I don't know. I'm having such a bad breakout right now, and I feel like it disguises it pretty well. It just makes your face look healthy. Like, it looks so healthy, and it's just a good amount of sticky. I hate silicone primers. I hate dimethicone. Anything like the Benefit Professional, anything like the Smashbox, I honestly don't like primers like that at all. I mean, dimethicone fills your pores. I get that some people want to hide their pores, but it fills your pores, and it like puts crap in your pores. Ever since I stopped using things with dimethicone, to the best of my ability and knowledge anyways, I used to have these tiny little clogged pores that weren't quite zits or blackheads, but they were just like little clogged pores. They're like 80% less than they were before I realized that I need to stop using dimethicone. So don't use dimethicone primers. Using serums, I like the Caudalie Vino Perfect serum. That's a good one. It's sticky. Basically all you need a primer for is just to help your makeup stick to your face and provide a barrier between your skin and your makeup anyway, so whatever. Okay, I'm going on a really long tangent about primer right now. This video is about under eye setting powder, so okay, just do it. I always use the Catrice Liquid Camouflage Concealer. It's my favorite concealer ever. Not just because it's cheaper than Shape Tape, but because it's better than Shape Tape. I'm gonna go ahead and use Shape Tape anyways because I know that that's what 99% of people use, so I figure it'll give you guys a better idea of what you're looking at. Okay, so I'm gonna slap this on. I completely forgot I was gonna put on foundation. Let me put on foundation. Hang on a second. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Shade 202 because it's easy and I like it and it's right in front of me. Okay, so now that I already started putting on Shape Tape, I'm going to finish putting on Shape Tape. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and blend this in. These are the Real Techniques. I think they're called Miracle Eraser Sponges, but these are maybe $3 or so. At Ulta, sometimes you can get a pack of like 4 of them. I love these. I don't really do my foundation with sponges ever. They're just like super soft. They're easy to wash. I love these for doing my under eyes. They fit. They're like the perfect size. I use these. I use one to do my concealer, which is why this one's dirty. I used it this morning. And then I use one for my setting powder. I'm just gonna blend this in. I'm gonna let this sit for a minute. I want you guys to see how bad of creases that I get after just 2 minutes of sitting. So right now, I just put it on. You can see my under eyes. I mean, they just have wrinkles in them. That's just kind of how it is. See right there. But my concealer always settles in them. I have never gone a day since I discovered under eye setting powder without setting my under eyes. That is so vital. I can't not do it anymore. So I'm just gonna sit for a minute, let this sit in, and I'm gonna show you guys how I would normally. I usually kind of let my concealer dry for a minute anyways before I set it. So I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, show you guys how much it settles, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I've let my concealer sit and dry for a minute. So I don't know if you can see, but my concealer does settle into my lines. So what I do next is I use the same sponge that I put my concealer on with. I kind of open my eye, really wide and pat backwards. And then go forward and back. Okay, so now just so it doesn't settle back into the lines, I kind of keep my eye, it's hard to do while I'm talking, but I try and keep my eye taut. Now I'm going to take the e.l.f., tap some out, take a clean, fresh sponge, this is important, use a clean one. Put some on there, right before I go in. Touch it up one more time. Okay, so that's the e.l.f. side. Now you can see right here, there's kind of like a dark spot right there. I don't know why that happens, but it happens with almost every single under eye setting powder that I use. Okay, so now I'm going to repeat the same type of process on the other side, but I'm going to use another clean sponge, a different one than I just used. And I'm going to take the Becca powder, take this guy. I don't know about you guys, but I can see a huge difference. I'm going to wipe this off, just wait a second, but I can already tell. Excuse me for looking in the viewfinder, but it's easier than grabbing a mirror. This side looks flat. Like, this side you can see clearly where I got 5 hours of sleep last night. This side, girl, I sleep all night, every night. This is so good. I don't know what they put in it. It's so soft, like the powder is so soft, it's so thin, I don't even know. So the next thing I do is I take a Kat Von D number 25 brush, I don't know what it is, concealer brush or something. You can use whatever you want. Another brush that I like to use is the Real Techniques one, whatever it is, and just whisk it off. I try not to kind of touch the brush right here because it will wipe my foundation off. But you just want to wipe off any excess. God, look at that. That looks so freaking good. Remember, this is Becca. This is e.l.f. God, that looks so good. I love this setting powder. So normally if I was doing a full face of makeup, I would just take some setting spray after my eyes are set, spray it down. That way, right here where the powder meets kind of like the wetness, stickiness of the foundation, that way it kind of re-wets this area so that my highlighter will stick. I know it sounds stupid. That's just how I do things. Sometimes I do stupid things. I never said I'm like the makeup master. No, I'm just Acadia. But I'm not gonna do that right now because I'm taking all this off right now. And I'm gonna do the Laura Mercier setting powder. This time I'm gonna put Becca on this eye because this is kind of like my worst eye. So I wanna see if it's just that it looks so much better because it's on my good eye, or if it looks so much better because it's actually good. Now I'm gonna take this off, start over to the same thing, primer, L'Oreal Pro Glow, and Shape Tape, and then I will go in, do the powder on each side, and zoom you guys in. We'll see how it looks. Okay, so I'm back. I put everything back on. This time I'm gonna be doing Becca on this side, Laura Mercier over here. So let me start with the Laura Mercier. Now, the reason I don't like this is because it's yellow. I'm like a fair to pale ass bitch. I can't be putting yellow under my under eyes. I look ridiculous. Like, you ever see like when a little kid takes a dandelion, like smushes it against their chin? That's what my under eyes look like. A little less dramatic, but like not though. Okay, so I have like a travel size because I'm cheap, and I got it in like a Sephora play box or something. I don't buy shit, okay? I mean, I do. I spend like $1,000 a day at Sephora, but I also am like, how do I buy nothing ever? Meaning that 99% of the stuff that I use every day is like free shit that I get with the things that I buy that I don't use. Can we compare colors for a second? Can we just... Who thinks that's translucent? Bitch. No. Laura Mercier, what? And it also makes no sense to me that people like using that one, this translucent setting powder, because Laura Mercier has a secret under eye brightening powder that's actually like super good. Just use that, you weirdos. Okay, I'm out of sponges, so I'm just gonna use the back of this one now. Okay, so I have some in the cap, and take the back of the sponge, pick it up on there. What is that? The fuck? Okay, I'm not gonna lie though. That kind of looks good. Alright, now let me do the Becca on this side. Okay, so this didn't really go like I planned, but looking in this camera... Okay, Laura Mercier, I take it back a little. I take it back a little because this just is not brightening to me. Is it super smoothing? Yeah. Do I look airbrush AF right now? Yes. But like, this is brightening. This Becca is brightening, and that's what I want. I literally used to use MAC Emphasize. This white. That's a highlighter. That's like a highlight. I used to use that to set my under eyes because I was like, I want like white under eyes, and I looked ridiculous, and anytime someone would take a picture of me, I would like, my whole face would be white. I care more about a powder being brightening than anything else, honestly. This eye always sucks. It always has like a dent in it. No matter what I do, it doesn't look flat. My eyes are like completely different shapes. They're really annoying. I would say if you're deeper than I am, if you're like a medium range, medium to deep, I don't know, maybe use the Laura Mercier because I think the color is going to be more suited toward you. I also know that Laura Mercier has a deeper toned of the same translucent setting powder. It's translucent, but it's a different color than the yellow one. Whatever. If you're pale ass pasty ghost bitch like me, you might want to try this. It has a nice white reflect to it. I don't know how that's going to show up on deeper tones, which is the only reason I say maybe don't. I mean, you can always, there's no harm in trying something. You can return whatever you want to Sephora whenever you want. There's no harm in trying it out. It's pretty white, honestly. It's pretty white. I noticed today my under eyes looked a lot more bright than they normally do. I really liked it, and they stay bright. That's the other thing. A lot of powders like the Elf one, it goes on and it looks really like bright and intense, but then as soon as you kind of wipe it off or you set your makeup or whatever, it really tones down and just kind of goes back to the shade of your concealer or whatever. Or, you know, some powders just darken a little bit. But anyways, I really love Love, 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 love. This is the best under eye setting powder I've ever used. My favorite before that was the Laura Mercier under eye setting powder. Not this one, not the translucent one, but the under eye setting powder, because it had like a light shimmer to it that would reflect the light, and it was so pretty. Like, it's not noticeable. It's not like a highlighter or anything, but it just reflected the light and kind of distracted from any kind of dark circles or indents or anything you had under your eyes. And I really like that one, but it's $30. I think you get even less than you do in the Becca one. Okay, so I did want to try just one more thing real quick. I already went ahead and did it. This time I put the Becca over here and I put the Laura Mercier on this side. I kind of remember why I disliked the Laura Mercier so much last time I used it. Okay, so it's kind of hard to pick up with my lights, but the reason is that right here, with pretty much all setting powders, I get a dark spot right there for some reason. But because the Laura Mercier is a yellow colored setting powder, it really makes it look a lot more dark than it does if I use, for instance, the Elf one or whatever other ones that I use that are more of like a white or a clear translucent, truly actually not yellow translucent. I didn't use foundation this time. I just want to do a quick whatever kind of deal. This eye is just like, it just sucks in general, but I feel like the Laura Mercier one just kind of exaggerates this thing more than the other setting powders do. By the way, I just need to add this in. I've been thinking about this all the time. Do you guys ever see, obviously you see, anytime a beauty guru like sets their under eyes and they bake, they like, it's like a huge white strip across their face and it just like looks crazy? I honestly don't know how they get enough powder on their goddamn sponges to do that. I feel like, you know, I tried to do that when I first started setting my under eyes like this, and I'm like, the fuck? How do they do that? I honestly do not understand how they get like a giant, just like strip of powder, like this thick, huge, thick thing of powder across their under eyes. I don't get it. Like, I just set your under eyes. You don't need to be like a lunatic unless you're doing drag and you're gonna be sweating like crazy on a stage under a bunch of lights. You don't need to do all that. It's just obnoxious. It's a waste of powder. Powder and makeup is expensive. So like, no, just like whatever. This is waste too, but like still. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple pictures with the different under eye setting powders under flash, and that way you guys can see. I typically don't really care about whether or not something flashes back. I've had a photo taken of me with flash like once in the last 5 years, so I don't really care about that, but just in case you do, I will include that for you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. And if you really actually care about seeing more, you can press the bell icon. It'll notify you anytime I post a video, which I wouldn't expect you to care that much, but whatever, you know, the offer's there. Leave a comment. Let me know what else you want to see. If there's any specific looks you want to see, anything you want me to review, anything you feel like you need to tell me about myself, maybe just don't. But all that other stuff's good. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.